disable me from share screen.
Yeah, hang on 1 second. I'm recording. And we're live with Photoshop Party. We got Photobomb, so we're starting all over again. And let me turn it over to Dennis to make him a host. And you should have access to screen now.
Got it. Well, all I gotta say is life is exciting every day, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So I didn't know if you wanted to introduce me or me just take off. I mean, a lot of people know me, some people don't. So I didn't know what you.
I'm going to let you just. I'm going to let you run with it. So.
Boy, you're pretty trusting.
Yeah. Well, you can see what happens.
Yeah. Well, everybody, I'm Dennis Hammon. I'm been a professional photographer longer than I can almost remember. I'm almost trying to catch up to Tim out there. But
thank you.
You know, Tim, as long as you're ahead of me, it's a good day, buddy.
I know.
You know, I'm just honored to still be in this profession after 45 years. And, you know, life is good that I have a companion. And some of you, she did a program for you guys a while back for Sherry. And I am so blessed to have a companion who loves what I do and shares in my joy and love and able to go out and capture and work together. You know, it's so important for us as members of our professional associations. You know, I am very involved in many organizations, but, you know, particularly American Society of Photographers is important to me as well, and PPFA, and then I'm a certified professional versus being certified or certifiable. You guys can take whatever way you want. And then I'm a member of Professional Photographers of Idaho, and I can actually attribute that that has been part of my life. Okay, real fast. There's people here saying, since I'm the host, that's waiting to get in the waiting room. Should I admit them in?
Give me their names real quick.
Angela Chen.
Yes.
Okay, as they come in, I'll just let you know. I didn't know what I was supposed to do there. So anyway, no, that's very important in our lives. And maybe. And if you don't know me, you know that I love what I do. I love everything every day. I wake up every morning excited to do what I do. No, I don't get to go out and take pictures every day, which is kind of disappointing, but because just like you guys, shutdowns and this and that, but I love what I do, and I'm probably, when I close the lid, it'll be the last time I can say that. You know, as professional photographers, you know, everybody says, oh, our job's so easy, you just click away all day long. And y'all know that that ain't true. There's so much more behind that, because clicking that image is just a big part of, you know, the capture there. You know, I've had this in my files for many, many years, and it very, it reminds me of so much of our lives, you know, but that last little part, you can't say it to your clients, but you want to say it. You know, thank you, Photoshop. And, you know, people look at Photoshop and like, can you do this to my face? Can you make me do this? Can you make me do that? And I love this, and can you give me bushy eyebrows? I thought that was kind of a funny one. But so it's all about, you know, what we can do to please our clients. Now, when I start working on images or anything for my clients and things, and, you know, many of you who are involved in PPA and Tim as a judge and things, you know, this is one of the things that I really work towards in my shooting, as well as everything I do in composition in my Photoshop, is try to adhere to the 12 elements. Years ago, when I took a class from Gerhard Bacher, and he's the one who designed the 12 elements for the PPA, and he went over this quite extensively, and that's one of the things that really got me involved in trying to figure out how to make my images better. And these 12 elements aren't only for shooting, but it's also when we start working in Photoshop as well. So one of the things I'm going to just address real fast here is capturing initially. I mean, that is so important when we do our captures and get the right exposure and everything. And when we do, anytime we do a portrait or we're out working, we have our Macbeth checker. You know, you can have the pocket size color checkers, and we do our color balances with our clients. And every time we change a location, anytime we change a lighting situation, we're doing a color balance. And so, I have to jokingly put there, Sherry would kill me, but I make a collection of her funny faces every time we do color balances and doing things. But that's the color balance is so we can neutralize the tones and colors so everything looks the same. I think one of the biggest problems I see is like we just did a job for the city of Otto Falls, and the photographer previous to us had done headshots of all the city council, everybody, and every photo was a different color and density. And when they hired us, they addressed that, and we talked to them, told them what we do, and when we delivered them, it was surprising. And we actually went so far as to make a print after we balanced it, take it to the building where they were at, and look at the lighting on the image, and then adjust the color for the printing for the location. So that's what we try to do for our clients in the color balance. And so that's initial. What people don't understand is that when you underexpose and overexpose, the colors that you affect, you have, everybody knows about the grayscales, this, but they don't realize that in that same grayscale, there's different tonalities that are affected within those divisions of exposure. So we could go on that for a long time, but I'm just briefly going to cover that we really need to be cognizant of the colors and the changes and how our exposure affects things coming up. So, this is how you can find me, and I'll come back here in a minute, but I just want to go back into Photoshop. Any questions so far? No? Okay, okay, so I'm just going to do a couple of little things here in Photoshop that, you guys all probably know all this stuff, and just a good refresher. And I know nobody's ever had a senior come in with dirty pants. And this could be applied to anything you guys want to do. Okay, it says my screen sharing is paused. What does that mean?
I do not know.
There's a thing, big yellow thing that says my screen sharing is paused. Okay, I'll just keep going.
Okay, switch over, unshare, and then reshare. Because you probably went to a different program.
Well, I've done this before, and it's never had a problem before.
Are you sharing the program, or are you sharing desktop?
I'm going to be sharing my program.
Okay.
Okay, there's a Larry waiting in the waiting room, too.
Does it have a first name on the Larry or last?
No, just says Larry.
Is it Skibisky? Okay, let's go ahead and admit him.
Okay, I'll try this again. Okay. Okay. So, this is one of the things you can do in the other situations. I'm just going to briefly show there. So I use quick keys a lot, so I'll come in here and if I get the right tools, so I'll do a quick selection of the colors right next to it. I'm going to blow this up so we can see this better, because I call this the wool light tool. And so I'll come here and I just do a quick selection, and then I just grab my brush tool, a little smaller, and I can just change to color mode. Sorry guys, I'm keep nervous that something's going to happen here. So just change the color mode, and then I can brush out all that stuff and that dirt and things to make keep the mother happy. And come down to the next area, select, brush, and then just do the same thing in the areas and clean up all that pants that he's been out rolling around the dirt for. And so this is just one of the quick things that, maybe you already know all this stuff. And the things you have to remember as we're playing around, how fast we can change all these kind of things here.
Dennis?
Yes,
We're
sir.
not seeing anything.
I'm not seeing anything here either.
I'm seeing a waterfall on mine.
Waterfall.
Guys, what is going on? Okay, there's a Rosalind wants to enter the waiting room.
Yes.
Gosh dang it. Okay, I went back to my screen. Okay. I'm going to go to a new share. Okay, did anybody see anything I just did?
There we go.
There we go.
Now we have pants.
Now we got Photoshop.
Well, I had Photoshop before. Okay.
It was in the other Photoshop.
Okay. So basically what I did is I'll just go back in the history so you guys can see what I did here. And so I can glue up this kid coming in dirty pants. And why mom would let him out of the house like that, who knows? So I just grab a color right next to it, grab a brush tool, go to color mode, and just brush out those colors. Now this is things you could do in other projects as well. Again, select the color, closest area, brush, and boom, I'm just cleaning things up here a little bit here where we're at. Go over here on this big one here. So, I mean, everybody kind of gets the idea of where we're at, but this is just a quick tool I just call the Woolite tool. And it's quick and simple to fix things. Any quote on that?
Dang.
I got a dang from Michael Collins.
You got a dang from me.
Okay.
Dangity dang.
Okay.
That was good.
Okay. So that's one thing there. I'll give credit to Don Emmerich for teaching me that years and years and years ago. Okay, so I'm just going to go in here, grab, I got some other things here I want to do, color chart. Okay, so the color chart, when we're grabbing things here, I'm just going to do this. So when we're doing a color chart, I'm going to just grab a thing I just did. It was a couple of months ago. We're actually doing this couple's wedding this Friday. So Sherry, it was cold and snowy. It snowed before we did this, so I just going to select all, and I hope everybody's doing this. And then I just get the white picker, and if you watch over here, you'll just be able to see how it just kind of neutralizes the color on those. Now, once I grab those, I can come over here and I can adjust the density of them as, come on, Dennis. Adjust the temperature, and I don't want to change the temperature. I can adjust the density as much as I want. So that's really easy. So I'm just going to open those images. I got a couple of things I want to do with them. Okay, now, does everybody here have problems with people and glass glare? I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with glass glare and things. And, you know, I try to minimize as much work as I have to do with these clients. Okay, because if you look at this person here, he wanted his glasses in, and he has this great glare. He's got, I can just tell as soon as I look in there, he's nearsighted with astigmatism. So I just tell him, say, we're going to do this, and every time we move around, so I just said, okay, I don't want you moving around. So Sherry's going to walk up and take your shot off. You know, everybody knows how to do all this, I'm quite sure. I just do Control C, come over here, Control V, pop the face in here, get rid of this guy here. I don't need him anymore. And just drag this guy up here, and this is how I tell him he's going to look for his picture. Just kidding. Do a quick layer mask, do a brush, and it's in black mode, and bring a little, and I just come in and just brush back in. Now, just say you're going to see some things here. Just brush back in the areas where, you know, it's quick and simple, and we got that. And now we still got some glare on the inside. Okay, now I missed one step here, guys, and I apologize. See, I changed the mode so I can come in and adjust the eyes. So I just can adjust the mode, adjust the eyes so they're all set. Now I'm back on this. I changed my mode. I hit D and changed my mode and come back up here and just brush out. And I'm just doing this real quick. I'd come back in and play this, but you guys get the idea how quick it is to fix that glass glare. And you can play with that for a minute and, you know, just change your mode back and forth. And Viola, you got glass glare, and you don't have to go in and try to change and fix and do all that fancy stuff. Does everybody already knew that one? No comments,
Cool.
huh?
That's cool.
Do I need to do it again, or did everybody catch it?
I think we
you're
got
good.
it.
Okay, so see, you guys are all skilled. You don't need me. And I'm not nervous here, Russell Wall, because I keep going, what the heck is going to go on? And it's, you know, it's the same kind of thing the other little girl we just did here. We did this session here. Same kind of thing was grab her, blow it up so we can, I'm getting old so I can't see. You can see how much it just neutralizes the tones and colors. And so you guys can work and everything, because one of the things I see, I know Tim sees this in albums and books, and we're judging a lot, is that different tones and colors and color temperature change. And so doing this when we're doing multiple albums in different places, you want to make sure that all the tones and colors match up.
And you're using the second box in, not the first one?
Second one in. I'll just do that again real fast. You can change it more, but we found out that it works the best for us. Just watch her. If we go, okay, I'm just going to watch her over here in the change right here, how much it changes there for the different images. Can you see the differences? So we do the second one in, and that works best for us. And I'm using bouncing daylight with a strobe on this. And then when we match it up, then we get the shots, and then we just finalize, a little bit of exposure, color balance. Please leave all the clarity and vibrance and saturation and stuff down. And there's one thing that I think that most photographers do is they overdo things on their images. They become unrealistic in their retouching. And I think just because we can doesn't mean we should. But that's just me. Okay. I know I'm blasting through a lot of little ideas and things here. Okay. Now, I know a lot of people, okay, here's one that's, okay, we're going to do a couple of them here. Now, this is called screen mode fix, and I'm sure many of you already know this, so I'm just going to, I keep putting that away because I'm saving that for another few seconds from now. Okay. Dang it, that's not one. Michael, you got me so gun shy.
Dennis, take a breath. Take a shot of that tequila that's sitting next to you.
Well, actually, it's a glass of good old Idaho water. Okay. Okay, now it's a little dark, and people can go in and you can fix levels and layers and all kinds of things. And it becomes quite a challenge to get that color balance because the exposure wasn't exactly right. The cloud, you can see the clouds when I was doing the session. So I just make another layer. I come up here, change this to screen mode, and boom, I got her fixed. That fast. And if I want to do another one, I just come and drag it down, do another one. If I wanted to get lighter and lighter, I can do that same thing as many times as I want to get that screen mode. See how fast you can fix all that. Now, okay, that's a portrait. Okay, but what if I get to a landscape? So we get to a landscape, and this one I just recently did when I was up in Yellowstone. And by the way, for those who don't know, I live about 90 miles from Yellowstone Park. It's a terrible place to have to live. I know Tim hates me most of the time, but
all the time.
So the sun, you can see the sun's going in and out here, and exposure wasn't exactly what I want. So I just do the same thing. I just duplicate the layer. I come up here, I do a screen capture, and boom, it's a little lighter where I want it. Okay, so now it's down where I want. Okay, and one of the things I do a lot is I use Nick. And I got a lot of different filters, but I'm going to use Nick. I'm just going to share a couple things how I would approach this image and go, if I just use this from start to finish. Now, it looks kind of bland, looks a little funky, but when I go into Nick, and yes, my laptop doesn't have the new DxO, but I have the new DxO on my main computer, not my laptop, and but it still serves a purpose here. And if you haven't downloaded Nick, it's a great, great tool. One of the things, I only use several of them in here, but I grab my brilliance here, my brilliance and warmth, and I will pop it just a titch. Now, there's some things you can do. You can add a filter and stack images and stack filter, filter, filter. But the problem is if you have to go back and change anything, then it becomes a challenge because then you change everything globally. So anytime I change a filter in Nick, I know it's a little more work. I go back out, but I have the capability of going back out and changing different layers and things. But once you start stacking within Nick, then the challenge becomes that they all are globally changed. So now it's going to come up. It's going to be a little, okay, what do we do here? Okay, this is going to make me look bad. Nobody's ever had that in a presentation, have something go wrong, have you?
Every time we do a Photoshop party. When I do them anyway.
Sorry, I'm going to come back and just grab this. Because every time I come up the top, I don't know how to get rid of it because every time I move my pen to the top, the meeting information pops down on me.
You slide it down to the bottom if you want.
Cherry, it's up here. Okay, so, and I apologize, guys. I am cool. Okay, it shows the last one I did as well. And then one of my favorite ones in, because I used to carry glass neutral density filters, which I still do, but I can come in with my neutral density filter and apply, and you can come in and these drop downs, you can get everything you want there. And I'll just drop in the neutral density filter, and then I can adjust the tonal range top and the bottom. And so I can adjust where I want to go there and adjust that. So we come back in there, and I love, it just saves breaking those $250 filters when they hit the ground. But I still carry them with me because I like to get them on the film, on the capture as well. You can tell how long I've been around. But one thing is you don't want to be using glass neutral density filters in front of your camera when you're doing pan stitches. And okay, I'm going to just do one more thing here. I know. If I got questions, please, please, please let me know what I can do to help you out. I'm very minimalistic. I get things done. And it's like people tell me that they work 100 hours on a competition print. And if I got 30 minutes on one, I'm usually thought I've spent too long on stuff. I know, it sounds terrible. By the way, competition's coming up soon, so everybody should have their images ready, right?
Well, we're hoping for district to be able to proof them out, and that didn't work out.
Well, now you have the opportunity to send your images in for the $10 critiques, and you can send in as many as you would like.
I've already started critiquing.
Yeah, so have I. You know, Tim, I don't know about you, but when I'm critiquing, I learn probably as much as these people do that's getting on their end. Don't you feel that way?
Absolutely.
So what I've done is I hit the total crime, it's built that up there a little bit. I love that what's happening here now. Now, let's say I want to use that for competition shot, and I'm sure everybody already does this. But, you know, come in, I make sure to click off relative, come in here, and I just hit point. And this is one of several ways that we do quick mats. And yes, we do white mats on a lot of our stuff. And because I like the white mats on a lot of things, we got 3 or 4 different ways that we do things. So it depends on how you want. And I'm just doing quick and dirty here to show you. And then one more time, you can do an action for this. And there we go. The finished image with the mat and presentation ready to go if you want to enter in competition. Any questions? Well, you guys are a quiet bunch. Either that or I'm just boring the heck out of you.
I think they're still shell shocked.
You know, I'm a pretty liberal, open-minded, but some days, yeehaw. Okay, how many here people? How many here do pan stitches?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, so I know a lot of people don't have the nodal heads, and there's a lot of these expensive heads. Now, one thing you can see my thing here is every time I do a pan stitch or any kind of thing like I'm going to do an HDR or whatever, I put my hand up at the beginning of the exposure and I put my hand at the end of the exposure. So let's say a month or 2 months or a year from the road, I'm going through and I see all these images and I see a hand in the image. It means, number one, I'm probably doing a pan stitch or I'm going to be doing some kind of HDR. Now, I know this is like a 12 image pan, and my theory is go big or go home. So, you know, I'm going I do a pan stitch, and this is up at the Prismatic Springs in Yellowstone, one of my favorite places to go for images and textures and just enjoy the time up there. So we've got the images already loaded. And so if you, like I say, so now I'm just going to load the images. And there's going to be a couple of things I'm going to do with this image. And so I have to add the images. And there they all are. And then we just kind of,
The top one you probably want to take out.
why?
The hand in it.
PSD.
I
There's a
did?
PSD
Oh,
file, the one you're holding for later.
I thought I got that out. Guys, okay.
We are paying attention, Dennis.
You know, it's not the I'm just going to take that guy out because he's just ticking me off. It's not the PSD. It's that waterfall. I'm going to show you guys something kind of cool with that. Okay. I really do know what I'm doing. Yeah, there's going to be three things I'm going to do with this image once I get it done. Because, you know, I was doing pan stitches like this before I even knew about nodal heads and things. And, you know, it is what it is. A lot of times, you know, you see an image, you start doing the image and you do the pan and it works. And we sell a lot of pan stitches here. And in fact, my record, I did a pan stitch. Sherry and I do a lot of drive-abouts and a lot of drive and talks. And I actually did an image here a while back that was purchased, several. It's a long story, but just real quick. It ended up being 105 feet long by 18 feet tall. And it was the whole back wall of a credit union that they wanted as the art piece. So they bought the file size. There's a whole story about that. And because it was a pan stitch, it was big enough, it held up to 18 feet by 105 feet. And what the hey? You guys never have crap like that happen, do you? Okay. So now I got my little pan stitch out here. So I'm going to, and the thing is, if I talked to earlier, if I've done this before, and I'm sure nobody's ever done it, I tried doing a polarizer doing a pan stitch. Well, the problem is the polarizer, every time you get a little mark here, it's going to be a different area where the sun hits the right rays differently. So do not do that. So now we just do our flatten. And so we got, okay, looks kind of funky. So now I'll do my, here's something I'm going to do here before we crop. So if you haven't know this about, get the right tool, Dennis, here. Grab the ruler tool. Grab the ruler tool. Today. I think I got hacked. No, just kidding. There we go. Okay, so then I just take a line across where my horizon is. Because see, just doing the little spin, it is a little off. So now I got my ruler tool. I just come up to image, rotate arbitrarily, and it says it's 1.7 degrees off angle. So now there, and then it's a straight angle. Now I do my crop, and I'm leaving some areas for a reason. These I want that there, and okay. Why so much, right? Okay, I like the presentation of that. So now I just come in and I just start playing with, I grab my lasso tool, L, I come in and just loop that little bad boy, image, or edit, fill, content aware fill, and they fill that in a lot better than I could ever figure out how to do this. And I'm sure everybody knows how to do all this kind of stuff. I'm just going to do a quick couple of things here. It's amazing how well this actually gets us. And then you can come back in later and you know, make sure there's no cloning marks and capture marks there. Now, what's is interesting, I kept this here for a reason. I just want to show you how easy this is to fill in a texture and a line. Who would have thunk, right? And now we have a pretty decent pan stitch. Is a 12 image stitch of the prismatic springs. Was that easy or what? There's a couple areas up here I'd go up and adjust and fix, but you know, I just want to show you how quick and easy it is to do a pan stitch, because everybody thinks that you have to have all these expensive devices and all these things like that. Okay, then we could take that back into Nick and do the same thing and do all the exposures and adjustment things. Okay, any questions?
No, cool.
You haven't written an action for your after you do your selection to do your content aware fill and deselect?
You know what? I haven't on this computer, and I guess it makes me feel better. Come on, Dennis, it goes all. Makes it. I guess it makes me feel better when I can come in. And just makes me look like I'm doing something right. You know, it's that thing is like, yeah, I got to figure out what I'm doing today. Oh yeah, I'm going to spend time doing this. Okay, so we did a pan stitch, straight in the mode. Okay, I'm going to kind of do one more thing here. And Tim, I can't remember, did I take you to Moose Falls?
I think you did.
Okay. Well, I have gotten several images off this let alone images off this, but this place and different places, and that's one of the days I took a snapshot because I had this in mind. So you go, what the heck? What am I going to do here? I want to have that fuzzy famous water, but I didn't bring my neutral density filters. So, you know, no. Sometimes it's, for me, it'd almost be easier to go up and redo it and do it. So I just grabbed the lasso tool and just snake that bad boy out, and I don't have to be real careful. So then I got my area selected. So I use Control J. You know, if you're on one of those Mac things, it's going to be a Command J, right? I know I'm still a rebel here. So I just go up to Filter, Blur, and sometime today, I'm sorry, I hear somebody's music on the background. Didn't that come? Okay, one time. Filter.
It's like you've lost your selection.
Oh, okay, we're gonna do this. Okay, I'm gonna start this again. No pressure whatsoever, right, guys?
Right.
And that was really loose. Okay, I'm going to just do a different one here. Okay, the key to this is a motion blur. I apologize. Okay, now the waterfall is going this way, but what way is the angle of this going here? So you can turn this angle up or back where you want to go. So now you can see the angle of the preview is kind of going the same direction as the water. Okay, and then I just start moving the distance until I start seeing it blur in the way I want. And you know, you can go really crazy. It's probably not where I would go, but you could, you know, come in. This is a quick fix or just doing something. This could be in streams and waterfalls, whatever. So now we got that. There we got the blur. Now we got all this stuff in this area here. Just, do your layer mask, come up, make sure it's there, and do a layer mask, and just come and mask out back in the water, the places where you didn't want that water, the blurry thing right there. Now, so you can there, okay, and say, okay, well, gee, I wish it was a little fatter. So you could come out and you could warp it. You could do a lot of different things there. So it's not the best fix, the quick fix. You could take it into Photoshop and take it back into Nick and doing some things and make it happen there. So those are just a couple of little things there. And I don't know, we're almost 2 o'clock, but I know we kind of killed a few minutes there before, but do I have any questions or anything anybody want to talk about?
Dennis, you made a comment earlier that you don't want to even use neutral density filters when you're doing the stitching. Did I hear that right or wrong?
When I'm doing the stitching, when I'm doing the capture, no, I do not. Because the neutral density and the polarizing filters both, I've just experienced that when I've done that stitching, it comes up with a different tonality from every time the sun is changing different angles. And you can do anything from a 3 to a 12 image stitch like I showed you, but it has a different density from the way the sun is hitting the atmosphere. And so I just found out it's a lot easier to come back in later and do like I did in Nick and use the neutral density filter in Nick. I mean, somebody else may figure out how to do it better than me, but I just know from experience it creates some issues that way.
Never been able to make a good stitch pan using filters. I always do it post.
Yep. And that's, and thank you, Tim. I think you and I did some when we were out and about and doing some. So it's just a matter of your preferences. Okay, I am going to stop sharing, go back, and okay, any questions or anything from anybody? I know you guys all know all this already.
We know everything.
Can I
Well,
ask a quick question?
Sure.
So I'm sorry, I missed this. When you were stitching, because I haven't done this yet. When you were stitching the images, you went to photo merge. Can you show me where you went for that?
Okay, I'm going to go back to share screen again. Okay, guys?
You got it.
Okay, I go to File, Automate, Photo Merge.
Oh, I missed that. File, automate.
Photo merge, and once you go to photo merge, and I have the auto select, you can do a lot of different things here in the layout. I just use the auto, and then you have to add the open files, and I select them and hit OK. The key point is when I'm doing those as well, I'm using my my focusing grid, and I pick a horizon, and I go across the horizon as close as I can. And the more images I'm stacking, because when I shoot those, I'm shooting about 30% of each image overlapping onto the next image to make sure that I capture everything in those images I do.
Okay, that's interesting. Thank you.
But once you get doing it, it'll become addicting. And one thing about it, it will start sucking up your computer space because you'll be doing lots of pan stitches. Anybody else want to see anything or review anything I showed you?
So Dennis, are you pretty much running most of your images through Nick filters?
I have Nick, and recently I bought Luminar Skylum. Has anybody else been using that?
Aurora.
And Aurora, and I do have, where's it at here? A code. Okay, there's how to get a hold of me, and if anybody's interested in it, I do have a code that you can use, and you can do a screen capture of that as well. And if you use that, you get $10 off on it.
You need to share it on your screen.
I thought I did.
Nope.
Dang, I even didn't say the naughty words.
Hey, rookie.
Hey, give me a break. Okay.
Why do you like the Luminar?
You know, because I teach a lot and I want to just be interested in all the different ones. Nick is probably my favorite. We use Topaz. Sherry just got the Topaz Denoise AI and the Sharpen AI. Phenomenal. Those, I mean, I'm not saying all the others aren't great, but those two are amazing. And of course, I'm a coach for that. And the Luminar has some filters you can drop in. You can drop in skies. You can drop in some things. And you know, Tim, I can see a challenge in judging this year with people dropping all these skies and all these things in and entering them. So, but it's just a way of, it's just another tool in my toolbox should I need it. And it has some different ways of retouching and doing some stuff. So that's just kind of where I get these things because I have a lot of requests from people asking about them. And then I talk to Luminar and they said, fine, well, you teach a lot and help out. So, and then if anybody's interested, I've been invited to be a speaker at Imaging this year, should they have it. I hope so. I'm going to be doing a pre-con class on Saturday morning from 9 to 12 on the landscape. And along the same line, if you're a PPA member, you can go on to the PPA EDU. And last year I did 2 EDU programs from them on the landscape. And they've asked me to do another one coming up this fall. So I'll be doing another one for them as well. So if you're a PPA member, as part of your dues, you can go on, just Google my name and you can watch those webinars in there as well. And if anybody's interested, I do have a fall workshop I'm doing. It will be social distancing. We're doing the mountains of Colorado in the fall colors, the end of September, and up in Telluride and Array. And we're going to be up there photographing for 5 days and doing a workshop. And we do morning and evening shoots and then do classroom in the middle of the day. So we really try to utilize all the time up in Colorado. So if you're interested, you could just private message me about that.
Cool.
So